and I'm gonna start it off right now. Man on Fire, 1987. Like I said, I'd never seen this before, and I was sort of getting geared up to watch the Denzel Washington one, but this is not that. This is the original film, though, and it makes me even more curious to see the newer one, the one with Denzel Washington, because I don't know what the differences are yet, because I haven't seen that one, obviously, but that's the one that I was looking for when I was looking to find this one. On Amazon Prime, it does the thing where it shows you that it knows what Man on Fire is, and you could rent it or whatever, the one with Denzel Washington, but the one that they actually had on Prime was this one. So I thought, hey, let's give it a go. Boom, boom. Predator came out 87, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, Man on Fire. So the basic plot I should talk about. The main thing that I don't really like about this movie is that it's pretty generic to me. It's like a lot of movies. You got a guy who's trying to protect, or he's trying to save somebody from getting kidnapped, basically. Mr. Creasy is the main character, and he is contracted to drive this little girl to school, and they become friends, of course. But something weird about that is this Mr. Creasy, like, he's a very self-contained individual, and he's very, like, he keeps to himself, and he gets super angry, like, at the beginning. He's like, leave me alone, don't talk to me while I'm driving. This little girl. But the little girl is persistent. Her name is Sam. I should call her by the character's name. She's persistent. And eventually they become friends. They just like keep hitting the nail on the head with this one over and over again, where they keep quoting Mice and Men, and they talk about Lenny, and they quote the one part, like, guys like us or something. I can't do the whole quote, but they have this one quote that they do so many times, and then if that wasn't enough, they even at the end of the film have it again in text to like, I've been watching the movie, I know that it's of Mice and Men, that's the quote. Cool, thanks. But I've gotten up to an angry start, but I actually did not hate this. It was pretty fun at parts. Oh, there was one really funny part that made me laugh out loud really hard, and I'm not sure it was intentional, but there's a part where Mr. Creasy is buying shoes for Sam, or helping her buy shoes or whatever, and the way that they cut from them buying the shoes and then them walking with the shoes out of the store is funny to me, because they show obviously that they're having a good time, so they're like laughing and stuff, but Mr. Creasy's holding the shoes and he just says shoes. And I just thought that made me laugh at that. I don't think that was intentional, but and even the text just said shoes, and then he's laughing, shoes. So that made me chuckle really hard, because it felt like a weird thing to say. I mean, yes, you bought shoes, but just saying the word shoes and then laughing, that's a good joke, eh? Just shoes. Shoes are funny. Okay, anyway, so yeah, like I said, it's a kidnap plot. This takes place in Italy, which, when I'm watching this on Amazon Prime, there's a lot of Italian-speaking parts, because they're in Italy, so that makes sense. But it doesn't give you the subtitles for when they're talking Italian, except for one scene they did. Maybe it wasn't that important for the other ones, and they only put it for that one scene because it was important to understand what was going on in the plot. But still, it felt a little weird to the flow of the story. But anyways, so this is one of those movies where it starts off, and honestly, I'm gonna spoil this movie, and I'm not sure if I'm spoiling the new one. I'd be spoiling it for me anyway, but it starts off with a guy, they say he's dead, right? He's like, I'm in a body bag. They show him he's dead. So that's sort of film noir-esque in a way, where you do the narration. It's like you're already dead and you're talking about how you got here. But I gotta spoil it because I was a little mad at the ending because I didn't go all the way through with it. They have him just be okay at the end, even though they set it up like he's supposed to be dead. But the whole point is that have to put him into witness protection and change his name, or something at the end after he saves Sam. And that's another thing that's not good. They don't like show him. There was a perfect opportunity to have like the reuniting of this girl and Mr. Creasy, the father figure, when he like rescues them, or at least something. And you don't get any, like, you have Sam talking until like she gets kidnapped, and then when she gets kidnapped, there's a couple scenes with her, but then like the whole last half of the movie she's just not in it, and she's like a main character, so it feels a little weird that they did it like that. And then she's at the end of the movie where they finally, okay, so at that point I'm like, okay, they're gonna talk to each other and say something. He says hi Sam, she says nothing, so I don't know. Little things about it like that felt weird. For Italian films, back in the day, for anything starring Terence Hill or Bud Spencer is good, especially the shows with them together. Yeah, the Italian films, honestly, I don't know a huge amount about Italian films, but apparently this was a French and Italian production. Joe Pesci is in this, I should mention. A young Joe Pesci, anyway, for him, I'd say. Let's look this up on IMDb. Man on Fire, 1987 to be specific. Of course we must, because otherwise they'd probably give me the other one. And have not watched that one yet, so it wouldn't help at all. IMDb, Man on Fire, 1987. 5.8 out of 10. Oh yeah, and I should say, I don't know who this actor is. Scott Glenn, the main character, the main actor who plays Mr. Creasy. Don't know who this guy is, but we're gonna click on his name and see what else he's done, because I'm curious. But yeah, Joe Pesci is in this. Joe Pesci's like his best friend. Scott Glenn was born January 26th in 1939 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's not telling me what movies he's in. The Hunt for Red October. Okay, I've never seen that, but it's a big Sean Connery film. The Silence of the Lambs. So I've seen that. So I've seen him in that. I think I know. I think I know who it is. But Backdraft. I don't know what that is. And Sucker Punch, which I've never seen. Some people like it. It's a Zack Snyder film. Some people say it's not good though. Anyways, back to this movie, Man on Fire, 1987. Let's go back to the IMDb page. So yeah, like I said, Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci's good. Like, he was good at this kind of role. Oh, and there's another funny part I wanted to talk about. There's a part where they go to a wedding, and if you ever wanted to hear Joe Pesci play Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry, then this is the movie for you. Because Joe Pesci plays that song on a guitar at this wedding, and it's funny because I don't know why they put the scene in. I think just because it's kind of funny. I liked it anyway. He's playing the guitar, and the part where it says "Go Johnny Go," he just keeps saying "Go Go." Go, 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 go. And he just keeps strumming really hard. And then at one point, Mr. Creasy goes up to him and starts shaking. He's like, "Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it." And then Joe Pesci's like, "I'm just kidding. Hey, I'm just kidding, man. Lighten up, would you? I'm just kidding. Why don't you sing something?" And then it's one of those scenes that's not necessary, but I'm glad they put it in there because I enjoyed it. Anywho, keep on moving on with this movie. I'm trying to think of some of the things that I liked about this, and one of the things I liked about this was that it was pretty realistic to a certain extent. Some things not so much, but specifically I'm talking about how in a lot of action movies they'll have the one guy fighting against a whole bunch of other guys, and he'll just like kick their ass so hard, not leave any scratches. This is a little more believable. When a whole bunch of guys try to get you, chances are they're gonna win. But if they don't win, then you'd probably still get a little bit messed up. And they do that in this. It's not like a Rambo unstoppable military guy. This is just a regular guy trying his best to stop this kidnapping. So I like that aspect of it. But yeah, this movie's it's very okay. To me, it's by the numbers to a certain extent. there wasn't really much of a twist, maybe a little bit of something, but not much. Which, that's not really a nitpick. Not every movie has to have a twist, but I'm just saying it doesn't really have anything extra or special about it. But then again, maybe the Denzel Washington is the one we want to see. And let's just talk about remakes and originals for a second, because I've always thought that they should do this. Like this movie, I don't think it did great. It did fine. They should do more things like this. Do movies that had potential, but maybe didn't do as well for some reason, and try to make it better. It's easier to make a bad movie or an okay movie good than a good movie make a movie better than that. You know what I mean? To remake a good movie is really hard. And I think they should be doing this more. Like remake Novocaine, which I reviewed for with Zach Tennant for his podcast. That'll be coming out soon. Novocaine with Steve Martin. It's another movie that's got some good ideas in it, but it's just not quite at a great level. It's an okay film. But if it got remade, the basic plot line could have been really good for a better film. But anyways, let's check out the box office info on this, because I don't know if this made money. Yeah, France and Italy. So this is an Italian production, but it's also French. And I didn't realize that till the end, but, I guess it makes sense enough. Box office information. It's not telling me the budget. But I don't think this did very well. It has a box office gross worldwide of $519,000. So I feel like the budget was probably higher than that, I would guess. So I don't think it did that well. But then again, that's what I'm talking about, is they should be remaking movies like this. And they did, obviously, for this one, with Denzel Washington's version of it, which I want to see. That's why I'm going to keep this one on the list, because I want to see the remake. But yeah, that's the way remakes should be done. Remake movies that could have been better. Anyways, poetic revenge flick. After seeing I'm just reading someone's user review. I watched this after seeing the 2004 remake, says this person, and was quite surprised by how good this one is. They gave it 9 out of 10. Holy crap. I don't agree with that. I'm curious now about the Denzel Washington one, but I digress. I'm starting to run out of stuff to say. We'll be playing guitar shortly, but yeah, overall, this movie was fun to a certain extent. Like I said, the part with the shoes was funny. The part with Joe Pesci playing guitar was funny. And Joe Pesci's just really good at that sort of Italian mobster kind of role. Although I don't think he's really an Italian mobster in this. He's helping Mr. Creasy do all these things like save the girl from getting kidnapped and helping him get a job and all that. Oh yeah, and there's a side bit where, and they could have gone into more stuff too, is another note, because there's a part where the mom, and they show that how the mom and dad of this girl just are neglecting her. They're not raising her at all. They're just basically paying this Mr. Creasy to raise her. And as a result, I guess what the mom is really, she's sort of sad one night, and she goes to Mr. Creasy for comfort, and they hug. But the daughter sees that, and she starts causing trouble, and is like, "You want to fuck my mom, don't ya?" And Mr. Creasy's like, "I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response," basically. And they go into it a little bit, but there could have been something there where they have a real discussion about it or something. But yeah, just little things, ideas could have been explored more some of the time in this movie, I felt. But there is some fun action, and like I said, it seems somewhat realistic with the guy actually getting hurt when he's trying to go against 12 guys. So that part makes enough sense. And honestly, I'm running out of stuff to say. So I think I'm going to end the review, and then we're going to get into music. But Man on Fire, 1987, I'm going to rate it, and then I'm going to do a brief overview. Where's my dry erase marker? Here it is. let's give this film, it's not great, but it's not terrible, you know? So let's give it like a 5.9 out of 10. That seems right to me. I didn't love this. Some of it really dragged for me, but there were some really funny parts, like I mentioned, and some good pieces of action too. Even though this isn't, I said this is an action movie, but there's not really that much action. A lot of it is character development and like the planning. They have the classic like suit up scene where he puts like guns in his belt and stuff. All that kind of classic stuff. But Man on Fire, 5.9 out of 10. Doug's. It could have been better. It could have been worse. I'm looking forward to watching the Denzel Washington one so I can compare. But for now, 5.9 out of 10 Doug's for Man on Fire 1987.